quick reminder before we go any further that this is not a practical class. If you'd like to learn how to do VR practically, you can do that in one of my other courses to be released soon. But for now, we will be focused purely on the theory and concepts behind this subject. You ready? Let's begin. So, let's start with what exactly is virtual reality to the noobs? Well, if you are completely new to VR, the first impression of the word VR is a kind of gaming fad, or perhaps more so a device that seems to be popular with gamers. Heck, don't just take my word for it. Google VR in a search engine and see what you find. Technically, virtual reality is traditionally defined as the computer-generated simulation of a 3D image or environment that fully immerses the user into a virtual or digital application that may or may not be interacted with by the user using special equipment such as a helmet with a screen, hand controllers, or other feedback devices. Sounds like a long about way to go about saying it's a digital immersive reality. Now, speaking of gamers, so what is virtual reality according to gamers and to people in the gaming industry? Well, VR, according to gamers, is really just another platform of exploration, immersion, and entertainment. For example, in VR games, virtual reality is simply an application of a 3D artificial environment to computer games to create a fully immersive world. Pretty much what everyone who is unaware or unfamiliar of VR thinks of about VR. But in gaming, VR is really just that, a platform for gamers by gamers. Now, what is virtual reality according to the military and government organizations then? Well, VR in the simulations and military is really just a training method for their teams. Again, it all boils back to immersion and experience. VR has been adopted by the military, including the Army, Navy, and Air Force, for training soldiers for combat situations or other recreated dangerous settings where they have to learn how to react spontaneously and in an appropriate manner. As for government, virtual reality analytics could be a thing too. Hence, in military and governance, VR is a form of simulation and method to put people in otherwise dangerous and rare situations to enhance their skills. Now, advertisers. What about advertisers? What is virtual reality according to advertisers? Well, VR, according to people in advertising, is really just another medium for them to reach new or different types of customers. In marketing, VR is used as both a tool and a platform whereby not only to have ads in VR applications, but also to immerse customers into a VR marketing campaign involving another brand such as retail stores or malls and so on, employing VR itself as the advertising tool to give users a unique brand experience. Alright, moving on to healthcare. What is virtual reality according to healthcare professionals and the healthcare industry? Well, VR, according to healthcare professionals, not only extend military training in terms of medical simulations, but also assists in rehabilitation, behavioral psychology, pain management, and perhaps could even assist in psychological research developments and experiments. In healthcare, VR is both an enabling tool, a training assistant, and a recovery platform whereby people in the healthcare industry can use to not only empower their patients, but also to explore and develop their skills beyond what existing technology or real-world scenarios could provide in frequency. What is virtual reality according to the real estate industry? Well, VR, according to people in real estate, is also similar to how the military uses it, but more for the purposes of showcasing projects rather than simulation and training. In real estate, VR is not only a transporter, teleporter of sorts, but also a visionary and creative tool that allows prospective buyers, sellers, and agents alike to virtually customize and stage their interior homes to make it easier to visualize the end product. This also applies to the construction and development industry, where it allows professionals to visualize their end product and work towards that goal. Okay, now that we've covered most of the big industries that are being impacted by VR today, so what is VR according to this course? In this course, we will generally describe VR as similar to how the gaming industry and entertainment professionals describe and use VR. Basically, we will define VR as the generic, traditional definition of a CG simulation, of a 3D image or environment that fully immerses the user into a virtual or digital application that may or may not be interacted with by the user using special equipment such as a helmet with a screen, hand controllers, or other feedback devices. But to keep it simple and straight to the point, our definition of VR is a digital and immersive environment meant to replace the user's current view of their real world or reality. And that is that for now. All the VR definitions possible and by the different industries. Whew, man, I bet that I would be saying the word VR at least more than 100 times throughout this course. That can be so annoying. But anyway, what do you guys think? What do you personally think VR is? Where do you see VR going? Or what do you think it is going to become? Go ahead, post your thoughts and responses on the Q&A board. If not, we shall proceed to basic baby terms that you ought to know if you want to be more involved in the world of VR.